Hello everyone, welcome to another Coffee and Contemplation brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. It is May 22nd. We've got a short and sweet reflection today entitled this, what a beautiful world this could be, something like that. I keep getting it mixed up with a song lyric that is stuck in my head, but it's in that realm. But it's just got a cute little story and perspective in it that I really like. So put it up on the screen here. Let's get into this. And remember, as always, if you're listening on audio, we've got the reading in the description for you to read along to and save on your phone. Okay? So, it's just simply entitled Earth. This Could Be Such a Beautiful World by Rosalind Welcher. That's what it was. The beauty that I see in the world also reveals a sadness. A sadness in knowing that it could be a much more loving and accepting place for everybody. If only we would get together in our difference instead of demanding sameness. We destroy so much God-given beauty by our desire to control, understand and arrogantly pursue a philosophy of selfishness, and we all lose. But my spiritual hope for tomorrow comes in the creative choices I make today. Let me be a good steward in your world because it is your gift to me. This inspiration is from Father Leo's Daily Meditation. So I just found this online, tried to Google. I couldn't find something specifically named Father Leo's Daily Meditation, but he did write a reflection book, so maybe it's just from there and it was misquoted or something. So check that out. I like this perspective. You know, if you've been listening to the show for a while and you know me, you know I just like positivity. I'm an optimist. I have that positive view and outlook on things. I sure didn't always, but in recovery, it's really given this to me, which has become quite a gift. So I just like any literature that's talking about things in this sense of like, what can we do to make things a little bit better? You know, so that line of this could be such a beautiful world. I really like that a lot. It's like that, same with that opening line, this pilot show, I can't remember, where this person's like asked, you know, is America the greatest country in the world? Is like, why is it? And he's like, it's not, but it could be, you know? So I just like that perspective in this reflection. And so it's starting with this line of the beauty that I see in the world also reveals a sadness that it could be a much more loving and accepting place for everybody. If only we would get together in our difference instead of demanding sameness. I really like that perspective, and I just like that they name it and mention it. You know, you wouldn't expect a reflection about how beautiful the world could be starting off talking about sadness. I mean, but it's absolutely true. I mean, all of us at some point in our lives have felt other than, less than, different, not accepted, not loved, not fitting in. I mean, all these things, like this just speaks to addicts so much. This is obviously a part of the human experience, but us also having the disease of addiction, we can have these stronger, more emotional reactions to them. They can support our addiction, our use, or behavior, whatever it may be. So this really resonates and stands out a lot for addicts, I think. And so that's one of the points of why I chose it and why I really like this. Just because we really know that feeling. And I think a lot of us, at some point, we caught this feeling. It's, you know, could have been earlier on, and then it stuck. And then we got stuck in that feeling. Then we hung on to that feeling. That feeling grew, but in a negative way, and festered and rotted, and then just became something that was then just pure fuel for our disease. And could eventually then get to the point where then that's the main justifier behind it. And that's what we are sitting at home in isolation and using over or acting out over or whatever it may be, you know? So I just like that they talk about this just because I know this is a place that we can all really relate and connect with. And so it helps too then, okay, if we know that and then others know that as well, we're not alone in this feeling. Understanding that can kind of help us open that perspective a little bit instead of just feeling so trapped in, oh, I felt that way and it was so awful, and then focusing on that negative experience you had or this negative feeling instead of realizing that others have gone through it too And so now there's something that you can do about it. There's a way that you can contribute to this planet, to others, like in relationships in some way, to help them feel more loved and accepted and be included, and it doesn't say anything like not the same, get together in our difference instead of demanding sameness, so I really like that perspective and that they talk about that. It's some really powerful stuff. It makes me think of is this really cute. It was a YouTube short, a video that I saw where it was a dog and a gorilla, or something like a big monkey or something, playing with each other, just play fighting and everything. Just looked like a couple of kids, and the tagline in it was "Be together but different," and I really liked that language and that messaging in it. It's like we don't have to be the same to be together. We don't have to have everything similar to spend time or associate, whatever it may be. So it's just a really good perspective that I really like. And so then this second paragraph in here, oh my gosh, I think it's just so relatable to addiction. We destroy so much God-given beauty by our desire to control, understand, and arrogantly pursue a philosophy of selfishness, and we all lose. I mean, that's just something that pops out so much. I really resonate with that first line. We destroy so much God-given beauty by our desire to control. We were just talking about this yesterday in yesterday's episode on, if we let go of control over certain situations, we were talking about disappointment. And if you let go of the results of certain situations, the result then could be even better. What you're looking for may not be good enough or a high enough bar. Things could improve beyond that. So just that line of we destroy so much God-given beauty by our desire to control is a really good perspective and a good thing to point out for people struggling with addiction, because control is one of our main things. That is such a massive issue and challenge for a lot of us. It really stems just from this root of the disease. It's one of those root things. It's a very common thing for all of us. So when we're talking about sameness before in that first paragraph, yep, that a lot of us can sure relate to that one, and then that end result, whatever it is, control, selfishness, like the self-centered view and philosophy, arrogance, that finishing line in that paragraph, and we all lose. Really like that they point that out too, because it's just true. It's just absolutely true. So finishing off in these lines, but my spiritual hope for tomorrow comes in the creative choices I make today. Let me be a good steward in your world because it is your gift to me. So of course, written by Father Leo, we're getting very God and creator focused here with this stuff. But just that perspective of like, okay, this could be such a beautiful world. So rather than me struggling with my own victimness of thinking, I've felt these things of being unloved, unaccepted, unwelcome. So rather than selfishly focusing on how do I do that for me, well, why don't you change the perspective a little bit and then say, well, how can I do this for somebody else? If I want the world to be a better place, I want things to look better, be more beautiful, more inclusive. Well, then maybe instead of always trying to include myself and focusing on me, why don't I try to do that for somebody else instead? And maybe see what happens. You know what? There's your homework for the day. I know you're just checking out this podcast for whichever reason. Probably weren't expecting homework, but I just gave some to you, so deal with it. There you go. That's my action to make this world a more beautiful place today. Encourage this behavior. So yeah, I really like that perspective and thought, and like, why not just trying to finish things with that? Why don't we take that approach instead? So when it says at the end of this reflection here, the creative choices I make today, let me be a good steward. Let me contribute to this world. Here's how I'm going to do it. So there we go. I'm just going to finish on that. I don't want to keep tripping over the same words or ideas here. I think we've got the point pretty straightforward. So there you go. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. In the comments, let us know what stood out for you. How are you making the world a more beautiful place today? There we go. That's the good shit. Would love to see those shares down there. And know that I do recovery coaching with people. So if these are some things you're struggling or resonating with, please reach out to me. Would love to see if there's a way that I can further help you grow in this area in your recovery. So contact info and a bunch of other things are in that description. There's other ways that Spotlight Recovery can support you and ways you can support Spotlight Recovery. Okay, so take a look down in there, get more out of this podcast, more out of the resource of our organization. Okay, but just for now, enjoy the day. Wishing you a blessed 24 in your recovery, maybe making it just a little bit more of a beautiful world, and we'll see you again tomorrow.